Everybody, Todd McFarlane. Today is the day that the Brits exited Brexit. So in lieu of that, we're going to honor them with our Judge Dredd. Why? Because if you look at the stock markets and the financial world today, there's a lot of dread going on. So let's see if we can't draw some dread for you. All right. So for some of you that aren't overly familiar with him, we'll start here. He has a big helmet. So we'll give you the helmet here. Gotta get my pen setting right. He's got a big helmet. Comes up in here. We'll go quick. The helmet comes down here. He's got some wings on him. So we'll do these real quick. And then he's got this little sort of sachet up in here. Not going to look like anything for the first few minutes, but then we'll get there. He has his sort of big defining moment is he has this big X on his face. I don't know what it stands for. Never read the book. But we're going to put the X on his face that comes up in here. It's kind of cool. And what makes it even cooler is that it actually is the slit for his eye. So let's just go right in here. And we'll come back in here and we'll finish the X that goes in here. And then the X comes up in here. Kind of like Speed Racer when I was a kid. Racer X. And then this is what's kind of cool about the helmet. Is it comes up in here. And then it cuts down. And this is where his eye is, up in here. And you'll see that in a minute. So it comes down here. And now we get into his sort of weird, cool helmet. This comes, the visor comes across. Helmet comes down. And it's got this big sort of swoop, a little bit like, you know, some of the characters you've seen in Star Wars, obviously. So we'll come up in here. And then he's always frowning. The one thing that's sort of interesting about this character, he's always sort of frowning at you. So we'll make sure that we get that frown on him. He's got his nose sort of hidden underneath the plate glass up in here. And then he's always sort of frowning. He's always got this sort of scowl in his mouth. Maybe you guys sort of have a couple uncles that are like that. Or next door neighbors, you know, the guy that never wanted you to play on the grass when you were doing it. So we'll come in here with the cheek. We'll give him the little pouty, sort of like what kids do. He's always had a big pout here. We'll sort of carve it up in here just a bit. And then he has this little sort of cool John Travolta chin. So we'll make sure we give him the John Travolta chin up in here. And then when he scowls, the thing that was kind of cool about him, and I can do it now that I'm older, you get loose skin. He gets these cool wrinkles when he scowls up in here. So we'll give him the wrinkles face up in here. Make sure we get up in here. And then we're going to have to even give him the 5 o'clock shadow here pretty soon. The neck comes up in here. And then he has this sort of weird stuff where he's got this eagle or something that sits on his shoulder. So we'll just give him an eagle real quick. He's got some leather that he wears down up in here. Comes up in here. We're going to go quick for you. So we'll put a little bit of shade. He's got some gold. This is all gold back down in here, so I don't have the color to actually get there, but this is going to be gold. His neck's going to be up in here. So we'll do a little bit of shading in here. And when we're all done with this, just like I've done with some other ones, I'll spend an extra 5 minutes once we're off screen here, and I will tighten this all up and give you sort of the real cool, sexy one. I'm just going to give you the horrific version of it real quick here first. We'll get here. And now we'll put a little bit of black. One of the things we've got to do to make this look fun here, we've got to add some black. So he has a marking in him that looks something like this. Let's start here. It goes here. Goes all the way down here. It comes up in here. Bam. Kablamo. Black. All right. And now that we got the black, we'll come in here with a little bit of white highlights real quickly. And we'll give you another layer here. Watch this. This one's going to be real cool. That he has these sort of highlights on his mask. So here's the way that you do this. You come in. Oh, nice, Todd. Let's get with that. It's supposed to be black. We'll go black first. So we'll make this. But we don't want this to match up with the helmet. So I'll just make it all black right now. Up in here. Boosh. And then I can take over here, you see it's 100%. I can then take this from 100% and dial it down. And when I dial it down, look what happens. You start to get that it looks like now all of a sudden the visor is see-through. And then if I go back to my original layer, then I can come in here and I can start to put in some highlights and put in some sheens and put in some lines so it looks like it. Maybe even give them a little bit of the nose so you can sort of see some of the nose back up in here. Give some more highlights in here. The thing that's sort of fun with helmets, that you want to make them kind of shiny. So if I cut some white into this, here's where the fun starts to come into. Watch down up in here. I'll just come in here and I'll start adding some sort of white sheens, right? I'll add some little these ones. Sometimes you can even come in here and go like this, so it looks like it's shining on you, right? Same with this one if you want. You can come in here and start adding these sheens on it. But you get to actually do all this sort of cool stuff with shiny helmets, so that's not quite black and perfect, right? I'll give it a little bit of sort of cuts in here, and this is going to be his eye. This is going to be up in here. Make this a little bit thick. And now here's what we got to do too. Remember, this guy always has stubble, so this is that stubble. There's a brush that you can use. It makes it really cool. I don't know if I want to spend all this time doing wherever he has it, but this guy has a massive 5 o'clock shadow, so it's everywhere. So if you have the time to dot this guy up, I recommend that you'll see it once I give you my cleaned up version. It's going to look really cool with it. But he has all up in here is his 5 o'clock shadow. So again, sadly, there's no fast way to do that unless you want to cheat with the brush, and I won't do that for you right now. We'll come up in here, give the rest of his neck, the other side of his costume, give him the other eagle or whatever it is that he's got on his shoulder up in here. Come back up in here, and if we pull it back just enough, give him a little bit, still a little bit pouty. Not bad. All right, so there it is for all you British fans out there. We got a lot of dread happening with the judge, and the judgment day has come from all the voters, and this is your life. But I'll do a tight version of this, and I'll show you the sexy finished version. Again, everybody, thanks for coming, looking again. Todd, peace out.